Hello and welcome all to the weekly motorsport rundown, where today I'm going to be covering a topic that is close to heart to me. I feel like New Zealand should have a Formula 1 Grand Prix, and today I really think I'm going to look at some of the viable options and why I believe New Zealand should have a Formula 1 Grand Prix. First of all, you may see pictures of the legendary Bruce McLaren, or the great Kiwi innovator who created McLaren to become what it is today. So I think it would be awesome just for the fact of getting a New Zealand Grand Prix run with McLarens and bringing them back to their grassroots. In this video I'll be covering a few of the different places that we could hold a track. I'll be covering a few different racetracks, even with footage from Assetto Corsa and some photos to prove just how beautiful our racetracks are in New Zealand. So let's get right into it and see why we should have a Grand Prix in New Zealand. The first track we head to is Hampton Downs Motorsport Park. As you can see on screen, I had a little bit of adventure because I felt like off-roading. I got bored of the mainstream on tarmac. But as you can see during this lap on Assetto Corsa around Hampton Downs, you can just see how the track would work with a Formula 1 car. The lap time I got was around a 1:21 lap, so it was a decent lap for a 3.8 kilometer long track, and the track is about the same size as the Monaco Grand Prix. We do have some issues with the track in Assetto Corsa with the prettiness of the track, which is you can deal with, but there's also a lot of elevation missing, which is hard to learn with no Formula 1 car. But we also have a lot of tight hairpins, and in my mind these tight hairpins are awesome for Formula 1 racing because having little aero needed makes awesome racing because, well, you're not having that stupid drag from all the cars. But as we can see, we're coming through another one of the hairpins, and there's a lot of second and third gear running. It's just second, third, which will take some running. And bear in mind, I'm no professional sim racer, so these are some dodgy laps. But this is one of the tightest hairpins. And I do think this turn could be quite tricky for an F1 car with bottoming out, but that is just the character of the track, so there's absolutely nothing you can change. And here we come flying down into the fast last few turns and up the hill. In real life this is spectacular because there is a massive hill and you come up to a big drop. Unfortunately in Assetto Corsa we can't see that. The things that will need to be upgraded for Hampton Downs if we were to have a Formula 1 Grand Prix would most definitely be the stands. If we wanted to have a Formula 1 Grand Prix in New Zealand at Hampton Downs, we would have to at least build grandstands over 90% of the grass because, let's face it, Hampton Downs is basically just grass. Another track that comes to mind is Highlands Motorsport Park. As you can see, I did get quite lost, which could be an issue, but I'm just going to blame it on the halo and not being able to see because in reality, I had no clue where I was going. But yeah, in Highlands Motorsport Park, just showing off some of the perks of the track. You have an absolutely awesome turn 1, 2, 3 chicane. You fly the car through it at almost 200 kilometers an hour. And then we come up to this, I was trying to use the DRS and that didn't go too well. But yeah, quickly learned where not to use the DRS and where a DRS activation could be. But yeah, this is the lap that I ran at Highlands Motorsport Park. It's a very beautiful track that I've seen in videos, but I've not been there personally and I've not been around it. It is on my bucket list to go and see, but the scenery around it just looks and reminds me of Spa, just with the trees and the grass and how open it is. You can see I'm braking way too early because I had no clue where I was going, but that's all the fun of learning tracks. And I do personally think that this is a more suitable sized track to F1 cars, and it's got a lot of mix of turns of fast and slow corners, and it is actually really enjoyable to lap in a Formula 1 car and getting decent lap times as well at a 4 kilometer long track. And yeah, just the only issue with Highlands Motorsport Park as I go off track, and to be frankly honest, I did about 10 laps and I didn't get a single one properly, so I just continued with this lap. But back to my point, Highlands Motorsport Park is sort of in the middle of nowhere. Everyone that you talk to that from out of New Zealand just knows is Auckland, and Auckland is the big place, which is where the other two tracks are that I cover in this video. Highlands Motorsport is nowhere near Auckland, and it's quite a way way for the drivers to get to, and the teams with their big trucks, because let's face it, getting to New Zealand is going to be a big feat for the trucks and the teams. But yeah, crossing the line, that's just a lap of Highlands. Up now we have the infamous Pukekohe Raceway, and this is one awesome track in real life to go. If you ever get the chance in New Zealand to watch the supercars here, I do recommend it. It's bloody awesome. As you just see me eating the wall. That was a bit of an accident, but yeah, just thankfully carried on. And this is one hell of a part of a racetrack. Coming up over the hill, unfortunately the Seto Corsa, like Highlands Motorsport, like Hampton Downs, does not feature the same hills in real life, but this is an insane track, and I've only got about 50 seconds to cover everything. But yeah, it's a bloody awesome track, and I think it would be good for F1. Just the lap times are too short. You could get a lap time down to about 48 seconds, which in reality for F1 standards that's a little bit short. So for anything, I would be saying IndyCar would be more suited to this track. However, the one issue is that the track is so goddamn bumpy down the back straight that it is not funny. But if the track was longer, I do believe this would be a more suited racetrack, as this is literally 20 minutes out of Auckland City. It's about 10 minutes away from Hampton Downs, so it's not too bad, but I think it's just an awesome racetrack with a lot of character, because anyone you ask that has raced at Puki, they say the track is the scariest they've ever been. You can even take turn 1 foot flat, and then I missed the braking point to turn 2, but yeah, it's awesome fun. So again, why New Zealand should have a Formula 1 Grand Prix? Firstly, I want to take it back to the McLaren days and how we had a Kiwi that's innovated one of the biggest teams in motorsport today. And I think it would just be awesome to see a Grand Prix here. Also, for money-wise, I think F1 would benefit a lot from it because, well, New Zealand hasn't seen Formula 1 since God knows when. And there's so many people out there that would benefit from seeing it that have not really gotten into Formula 1, and Formula 1's brands would be a lot bigger if they came to New Zealand. Sure, we're not a big country, but everyone groups together and does things as a whole. For example, the Speedway had over 50,000 signatures to keep it there. So yeah, I just think Formula 1 would be awesome in New Zealand. Let me know what you would think. Comment down below, and while you're down there, give us a like and a subscribe.